My friend, there's a dream the Philadelphia Eagles fan base has been quietly nursing since the start of the year. The dream of bringing back home a giant, a player who passed through Philadelphia, helped the team lift the most coveted trophy in football, and then left chasing money somewhere else. Since March, the rumors of a reunion have been popping up behind the scenes, and the expectation only grew. But now, my friend, a new report from one of the biggest outlets in the league just threw a bucket of cold water right into the middle of that party, because it came out that something nobody wanted to hear. The Eagles are no longer the favorites in this race. While Philadelphia was courting the idea calmly, another team cut the line, and now shows up in front as the most likely destination for this giant. The threat is real, and the clock is ticking against Howie Roseman's plans. The truth is that this fight hides a risk a lot of the fan base still hasn't noticed. And it's about that danger that we need to talk today with total honesty. If you're a die-hard Eagles fan, hit that like button right now and subscribe to the channel. Because understanding this race against time is understanding whether Philadelphia is going to manage to plug an important hole or is going to watch, from the box seats, an old familiar face end up on another team. This isn't the time to relax. It's the time to keep your eyes open. Let me show you exactly who this player is and why another team just jumped ahead of the Eagles. Let's set the scene. We're talking about a true human wall, a guard of colossal size who lived the best moment of his career precisely wearing the Eagles jersey. After difficult years, marked by injuries, at another franchise, this giant found in Philadelphia the perfect environment to be reborn. It's worth remembering that he came into the league as a first-round pick of the New York Jets, surrounded by expectation, but the first years of his career were run over by injuries that kept him off the field and almost turned a golden prospect into a disappointment. It was only when he changed positions, moving from the outside of the line to play inside, as a guard, that his career finally got going. And that rebirth happened precisely in Philadelphia. He was a fundamental piece in a historic campaign, one of those that stay forever in the fan base's memory. But, right after shining, he received an offer of money he couldn't refuse and traded Philadelphia for a new home, in a bet that, as we'll see, ended up not working out. Now he's free on the market, and the old romance with the Eagles has gained strength again. This player's name is Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton, the imposing guard who was a champion with the Eagles, is at the center of this new market saga. And the warning came from a place of weight. This past Friday, journalist Grant Gordon, of the NFL's official site, published an analysis about the best destinations for the biggest name free agents still loose on the market. And then came the part that hurts. When the subject was Becton, Grant Gordon did not put the Eagles in first place. He named the Seattle Seahawks as the ideal fit, as the best possible destination for the veteran. The Eagles did appear on the list, but only as one of three other options, behind Seattle's status as favorite. Do you catch the message between the lines? According to one of the most respected outlets in the league, if you had to bet today on which jersey Becton is going to wear next season, the safest bet would not be Philadelphia's green, but rather the Seahawks, all the way across the country. For a fan base that dreamed of the reunion, seeing their own team demoted to a mere supporting player in this fight is a punch to the stomach. And the most frustrating part is the feeling that the Eagles dropped the ball. While Philadelphia flirted with the idea in no hurry at all since March, the market kept turning, and now the concrete possibility emerges of another team arriving hungrier and closing the deal first. It's that old saying, whoever doesn't chase it watches the opportunity slip through their fingers. And for you to understand exactly the size of what the Eagles could lose, you need to remember what this player meant in Philadelphia. In the 2024 season, Becton started 15 games at right guard and simply never came out of the lineup. He started all 4 playoff games of that magical postseason, including the title decision itself. In other words, he wasn't just some supporting player in the championship. He was one of the pillars of that champion offensive line. And it doesn't stop there. According to the advanced numbers from the respected PFF site, that was the best individual season of Becton's entire career. Think about that. The guy lived his peak precisely there, in an Eagles jersey, protecting Jalen Hurts and opening gigantic holes on the ground for the run game. It was a perfect marriage between player and system. That single season in Philadelphia was so good that it earned him a 2-year, $20 million contract with the Los Angeles Chargers in the following free agency. The problem is that the adventure in California simply didn't work, and the Chargers ended up releasing Becton back in March in a cost-cutting move. And that's exactly when the old dream of the reunion was reborn in the fan base's mind. So why do the Eagles need to hurry? And why is the Seattle threat so dangerous? Because the need really exists, and the market waits for no one. Philadelphia's offensive line still has open questions for 2026, especially after a past season in which injuries punished that unit quite a bit. The right guard position, precisely the one Becton dominated, is still an open competition between younger, not yet established players, like Tyler Steen and Trevor Keegan, without either of the two having nailed down the spot with the authority Becton himself had. And we can't forget that, last season, the Eagles' offensive line was harshly punished by injuries to important pieces, which exposed the lack of reliable depth in the unit. Getting back a guard of Becton's size and experience would give that line a firepower in the ground game that the battle between the young guys, on its own, still doesn't guarantee. In other words, the fit still makes all the sense in the world. But here's the danger. The more the Eagles hesitate, the more time they spend just courting the idea without taking action, the greater the risk that a competitor like the Seahawks simply closes the deal first and takes the player away. In football, whoever blinks loses. And if Seattle is really in front, as the analysis points out, then the Eagles' window may be closing right before their eyes. It's the difference between acting decisively and being left behind lamenting what could have been. And let's be honest, for a team that sees itself as a title contender, letting a ready and tested reinforcement slip away out of pure delay would be a hard mistake to swallow. Now, to be fair and transparent, we need to present the other side of this story, because not everything is lost for the Eagles. First, it's essential to understand that this is still only one analyst's opinion and not a signed deal. The journalist himself made clear that Becton's return to Philadelphia is nothing certain, but that it remains perfectly on the table. Nothing is decided. Second, the Eagles have a card up their sleeve that Seattle doesn't have, which is the already existing relationship. Becton knows the locker room, knows the scheme, knows the coaching staff, and has already proven that he thrives within that structure. That track record of success weighs a lot when choosing a destination. Third, it's possible that the Eagles' front office itself prefers, for now, to bet on the internal competition that already exists on the roster, trusting that one of the young guards can take over the spot without the need to spend on a veteran. In that case, losing Becton to Seattle wouldn't be exactly a tragedy, but rather a conscious choice. And fourth, in the end, the decision also runs through the player himself. If Becton is looking for a guaranteed, outright starting job, maybe he himself would prefer a destination where the competition is lighter, which is a double-edged sword for the Eagles. In other words, the story is far from written, and a lot can still happen over the coming weeks. So now I turn it over to you, the one who truly understands this team. Knowing that the Seahawks show up in front in this race, do you think the Eagles should hurry and lock up Mekhi Becton as soon as possible? Or is it better to trust the young guys already battling for the right guard spot? Do you believe the old, victorious relationship with Philadelphia weighs more in Becton's mind than any offer from another team? Or do the money and the promise of a starting job speak louder? And tell me one thing, if Becton ends up signing with Seattle after all, are you going to see it as a big loss or as a bullet the Eagles managed to dodge? Drop your opinion down here in the comments, because I read every single one of them. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to follow closely every Eagles move on the market heading into the season. And I'll be back later to update you with the latest news out of Philadelphia.